Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am Dirang Itaib from B1B. So, our discussions is all about the historical criticism. So, let's let's discuss of what is historical criticisms. So, historical criticism is like a detective work for ancient texts. It tries to understand the text by looking at the time in place it was written. Imagine you find a letter from your great grandparents. So to understand that, you would want to know what was happening in their lives, in the world around them. So historical criticism does the same for old texts. It tries to figure out, number one, so what did the text originally mean? So it looks at the words, the cultures, and the history of the time to understand the author's ended message. Two, who wrote it and who was it for? So it tries to figure out the author's background, their audience, and the reasons they wrote the text. So there are two main types, the external criticisms and the internal criticisms. So, external criticisms, this is like checking if the letter is real. It looks at things like the handwriting, the papers, and the date to make sure it's authentic. So, let's proceed to internal criticism. So, internal criticism, this is like reading between the lines. It looks at the text itself to understand the author's point of view, their belief, and the message they were writing to convey. So, by doing this detective work, historical criticism helps us understand the meaning and the importance of ancient texts in a deeper way.
And I'm going to continue the explanation of Ms. Taib about the historical criticism. By the way, I am Fatima Mardia S. Sahali. One of the key aspects of historical criticism is the recognition that the Bible was written over a long period of time by various authors with different perspectives and agendas. This means that the Bible cannot be understood as a single unified work, but rather as a collection of texts with their own historical and literary context. Historical criticism seeks to identify this context and to understand how they shape the content and meaning of the biblical text. Another important aspect of historical criticism is the analysis of literary genres. The Bible contains a wide range of literary forms, including narrative, law, poetry, prophecy, and epistle. Each genre has its own conventions and purposes, and understanding these conventions is crucial for interpreting the meaning of the text. For example, the Book of Psalms is a collection of poems, and understanding the poetic devices used in this text can help us appreciate their beauty and depth. In addition to analyzing the historical and literary context of the biblical text, historical criticism also examines the social and cultural factors that influence their composition and interpretation. This includes looking at the religious, political, and economic conditions of the time, as well as the role of the Bible in shaping these conditions.
External criticism is like checking if a historical document is real or fake. It's like being a detective for history. You look at the handwriting to see if it matches the time period or paleography, and you analyze how the document was made and if the information it contains is true or diplomatic criticisms. You also compare it to other known real documents from the same time to see if they match up. So this helps historians make sure they're using real information from the past.
I am Ruhina Hamsali. I am going to discuss the internal criticism. So, this explains that internal criticism is used to check the truth of a document content. It focuses on verifying the fact by analyzing the author knowledge, the reliability of sources, in the historical context. The critic must understand what the author intended to say and confirm that the event described actually happened. In summary, internal criticism is a detailed process that goes beyond determining a document authenticity and focuses on ensuring the reliability of its content. By analyzing the sources, the author knowledge, and the intent in the historical context.
Hello, my name is Farhana Saraib. The test of authenticity. Expecting the material used, paper, ink, to check for inconsistencies with the non-availability of those materials during the aligned time period. For example, the text notes that pencils were not common before the 16th century, and printing and typewriting were invented much later. Comparing the handwriting, signature, seal, letterhead, or watermark to non-authenticated specimens, or using techniques like paleography and demlomatics, the study of handwriting and documents. In essence, the passage of outlines, a process of forensic analysis applied to historical documents to determine their authenticity, relying on the understanding of technological and material.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Norpay Saisali. My topic is the continue of test of authenticity. So, for some period of history, expert using technique known as paleography and diplomatic. So, paleography, the study of ancient or antiquated writings and inscriptions. Diplomatic is the study of the creation, form, and transmission of records with the goal of identifying and evaluating their authenticity. The disciplines of paleography and diplomatic were founded in 17th century by Dom Jean Mabillon, a French Benedictine monk and scholar of the congregations of Saint Maur. Anachronistic style is a style that includes elements from a different time period than one it is set in.